Rogue began their LEC 2021 season with a 3-0 Super Week, including a win over fan favourites Fnatic. What's more interesting is that Rogue won all their matches in a rather dominating fashion, jumping to comfortable gold leads by the 15-minute mark. Today, we're having a look at how Rogue defeated SK Gaming by utilizing their priority in multiple lanes, as well as their solid understanding of resetting and setting up on the map to jump to an early gold lead. The game starts with an unfortunate all-in for Rogue in the bot lane. Trimby initiates, but only CCs the Leona, who has an active Aftershock proc. As the trade extends, Ezreal kinda takes over the fight with Conqueror, and SK get a 2-for-1 trade. However, Jezu is unable to fully push out the wave and base after the fight, which allows Rogue to come back to the lane just in time to freeze the wave, as well as having a longsword advantage for Hansama. Inspired is promptly called down to gank the lane while it freezes, and with the pressure of a gank and a bad lane save for their opponents, Rogue pull the trigger and grab another kill for Hansama. This allows him to gain control of the bot lane, crash the wave, and base again. At this point, Kai'Sa has a Noon Quiver and a dagger to Ezreal's Tyrion double longsword. This item disparity gives Rogue so much push advantage in the bot lane. At 6 minutes and using the aforementioned push in bot lane, as well as in mid, Rogue decides to start Dragon. SK on the other hand, they see an isolated and pushed up Hansama. Blue steals away Larsen's TF ult to roam down to bot lane, and by chunking and zoning him away, SK now have a numbers advantage to contest the Drake. Rogue immediately make the call to not fight for the objective and let SK have the Dragon. What initially looks like an unfortunate situation for them is instantly made up by their good decision making. Larsen moves back to mid lane to instantly shove in the wave, while Inspired and Trimby move together to invade the top side of the map. This allows them to steal away an important red buff for Graves, as well as secure the Skull Crab. With the 8-minute mark approaching, Rogue set their eyes on the next objective, the Rift Herald. The bot lane is ahead in tempo as they got back to the lane first, so they push out the lane and move towards the top side of the map. In the meantime, an aggressive trade by Blue is punished by Inspired, who trades flashes with the enemy mid laner. Rogue set up around the first Herald with really good vision. The threat of Nidalee Spears and TF gold cards is enough to limit SK's windows to enter the fight, as Leona is not yet level 6. Odoamne blocks any potential angles for Gen X to engage with Gragas, and once Leona Flash E fails, the play is off for SK. Rogue quickly set up all 3 lanes in a sort of 3-1-1. Hansama moves to the top lane to push the wave in with Inspired and Trimby shadowing him, while Odoamne quickly recalls to the bot lane and holds the wave at the tower. These fast decisions around their lane assignments and quickly resetting to set up helps Rogue jump to a 1.7k gold lead at 11 minutes, most of which is on Hansama's Kai'Sa. With Herald on their hands, Rogue's game plan is clear. Odoamne holds the wave close to the tower in the bot lane, and Rogue consistently push in both top and mid, with Inspired and Trimby moving between the 2 lanes to allow Larsen and Hansama to constantly shove and to allow them to base and come back to lane to keep the pressure up. SK is forced to match their moves by trying to predict some kind of Herald placage in the mid lane, but after a fight there, SK use the opportunity that Inspired is dead to claim a second dragon. Rogue don't even try to contest for it, and instead, they keep their focus on allowing their 2 main carries to get more resources, even if this means sacrificing Trimby, who falls behind in experience. At 13 minutes in, and after an attempted pick-off in the topside jungle, Rogue finally decide to drop the Herald in mid lane. This forces SK to respond and again gives Hansama so much breathing room to continuously get these turret plates. At 14 minutes in, and with turret platings dropping, Rogue is 3.4k gold ahead of their opponents. Hansama is close to being a full level in front of his counterpart and has a 1.1k gold lead over Jezu. With this, Rogue guarantee that Kai'Sa comes online earlier and is never outmatched by Ezreal's mid-game power spike. At 14 minutes and with another Herald spawning soon, Rogue continue their focus towards the top side of the map. Twisted Fate and Nidalee reset first, followed by the other 3 members 30 seconds later after having pushed both side lanes. They never miss a beat and they keep top and mid pushed. While SK prepares to dive Odoamne on Rogue's weak side in the bot lane, Rogue is already responding in 2 separate lanes, pushing Sylas out of the top lane, finishing off the tier 1 and then diving Ezreal on the mid lane. While Rogue grab no kills, they damage both top and mid tier 2 turrets while also denying CS, cementing their gold lead on their carries. At 17 minutes, SK tunnel on the 3rd dragon as their win condition, and while this puts them on sole point, the price they pay is too high, as Rogue uses to take down both top and mid tier 2 turrets. By the time SK even had a chance to get the Dragon Soul, they would be looking at an 8k gold deficit. From here, Rogue would continue to dominate and win the match in 28 minutes. In this match, Rogue made it clear that dragons weren't their priority, and instead their methodical and demolishing early game has been focused on grabbing the Rift Herald to convert it into turret plates and the first turret, as they finish week 1 with 100% Herald control and the first tower raid. Their solid performances have reinforced their status as a title contender, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can go.